Hello, Toonami! What an absolutely incredible day to be a Newcastle United supporter. Can you believe we're back in the Champions League? I'm still buzzing from yesterday's drama, and I bet you are too. Now then, before we dive into today's exciting topics, I've got two burning questions for our amazing fan base. First, do you think Bruno Guimaraes is absolutely spot on when he says we need more signings this summer to compete properly in the Champions League? And secondly, how desperate are you for Kieran Trippier to stay at St. James's Park after that heartfelt Instagram message? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, because I'm dying to hear what the Toonami thinks. Right then, let's talk about it. Bruno Guimaraes and his absolutely brilliant honesty about where our squad stands heading into what could be the most important transfer window in recent Newcastle history. And you know what? Our Brazilian magician is absolutely spot on with every word he said. Bruno's come out and said exactly what every single one of us has been thinking. We need more players, and we need them fast. When he says, the squad is a little bit short, he's not being critical of the lads we've got. He's being realistic about what it takes to compete at the highest level. And that's exactly the kind of honesty we need from our star players, because it shows just how much he cares about this club and where we're heading. Think about it for a minute. We've just secured Champions League football in what's been an absolutely magical season, one that'll go down in Newcastle folklore forever. But Bruno's already thinking ahead, already planning for the challenges that await us next season. That's the mentality of a winner. That's the attitude of someone who truly understands what it means to wear the black and white stripes of the best team in the world. The lad's been through the wars with us this season, hasn't he? He's seen firsthand how injuries can absolutely cripple a squad when you're trying to compete on multiple fronts. Remember those dark days when we were struggling with injuries left, right, and centre? Bruno was there fighting tooth and nail, trying to carry the team on his shoulders, alongside the other lads who were fit enough to play. He knows better than anyone what happens when you don't have enough depth in the squad. What's absolutely brilliant about Bruno's comments is that he's not just complaining, he's offering solutions. He's telling Paul Mitchell and the board exactly what needs to happen if we want to make a real go of it in the Champions League next season. And with 150 million to spend, we're in a position to actually make those dreams a reality. The timing of these comments couldn't be more perfect either. We've just seen what happens when you're not prepared for multiple competitions. Look at how we struggled in the Champions League last season because we simply didn't have the squad depth to rotate properly. Bruno lived through that experience, and he's determined not to let it happen again. That's the kind of leadership we need from our star players. Eddie Howe's response to Bruno's plea shows just how much the gaffer agrees with our Brazilian midfielder. When Howe talks about speed being key in the transfer market, he's echoing exactly what Bruno's been saying. They both understand that good players don't hang around waiting for clubs to make up their minds. If we want to attract top talent to St. James's Park, we need to move fast and move decisively. The power of Champions League football cannot be overstated here. Bruno mentioned that next season we'll have one more competition, and that's exactly why we need reinforcements. But it's not just about having more games to play. It's about having the quality of players who can step up when called upon. We can't afford to have a massive drop-off in quality when we rotate the squad. What's really encouraging is Bruno's hint that he's happy to stay at Newcastle, despite interest from Saudi Pro League clubs. That shows just how much he believes in this project, and how committed he is to seeing it through. When your best players are actively pushing for more signings, rather than looking for a way out, you know you're building something special. The fact that we can spend $150 million this summer is absolutely massive for a club like ours. After years of being restricted by financial fair play regulations, we finally have the freedom to go out and get the players we need. Bruno's right to push for early business, because that's how you build momentum heading into a new season. Now then, let's talk about Kieran Trippier and that absolutely heart-wrenching Instagram post that's got every single Newcastle fan begging him to stay. If you haven't seen the responses to Tripp's message, you're missing out on one of the most emotional displays of fan love I've ever witnessed. The Toon Army has spoken with one voice, and the message is crystal clear. We cannot let this man leave St. James Park. Kieran Trippier's Instagram post yesterday was pure class, wasn't it? Champions League! What an incredible season we have had. League Cup winners and Champions League secured for next season. Those words sum up exactly why this man is so special to our club. He gets it. He understands what it means to be Newcastle United. And more importantly, he understands what it means to the fans who've waited decades for moments like these. When Trippier posted those pictures from the Everton game with that caption, he wasn't just celebrating our Champions League qualification. He was acknowledging the journey we've all been on together. This is a player who arrived at Newcastle when we were fighting relegation battles, and now he's celebrating European football at the highest level. That's not just professional growth, that's emotional investment in everything this club represents. The fan responses to his post tell you everything you need to know about how much this man means to Newcastle United supporters. Please don't leave. Stay for it, Trips. Club legend. These aren't just casual comments from fair weather fans. These are desperate pleas from supporters who recognize pure quality when they see it, and they know that losing Trippier would be an absolute disaster for our squad. What makes Trippier so special isn't just his ability on the pitch, though we all know he's got one of the best right feet in world football. It's his leadership, his experience, and his understanding of what it takes to win trophies. Think back to our Carabao Cup triumph. Would we have lifted that trophy without Kieran Trippier's experience and composure in those crucial moments? I don't think so, and neither do the fans who are begging him to stay. The reality is that Trippier finds himself in a difficult position heading into next season. Lewis Hall and Tino Livramento have both shown tremendous promise, and it's clear that Eddie Howe sees them as the future of our fullback positions. But here's the thing, Champions League football isn't about having just two quality players in each position. It's about having experienced, reliable options who can step up when the pressure is at its highest. At 34 years old, Trippier might not be the lightning-fast attacking fullback he once was, but what he brings to this team goes far beyond pace and athleticism. He brings wisdom, tactical intelligence, and an understanding of how to manage big games that you simply cannot teach. When the chips are down and we need someone to deliver a crucial cross or take a vital free kick, there's nobody I'd rather have than Kieran Trippier. The fans who are pleading with him to stay understand something that perhaps the club hierarchy needs to remember. Experience wins trophies. We saw it in the Carabao Cup final when Trippier's leadership helped guide us through the most important 90 minutes many of us had ever witnessed. We saw it throughout the season when he came off the bench to change games and provide the kind of composure that only comes with years of playing at the highest level. What's particularly heartbreaking about the possibility of losing Trippier is the timing of it all. We've just secured Champions League football. We're building something truly special at Newcastle, and yet one of the architects of our success might walk away because he wants guaranteed minutes. I understand the man's position. He's 34. He doesn't have many years left at the top level, and he wants to play regular football. But surely there's a way to make this work for everyone involved. The Champions League offers the perfect opportunity for Trippier to get those minutes he craves. With more games to play and the need for squad rotation, there will be plenty of opportunities for him to showcase his talents. Plus, his experience in European competition could be absolutely invaluable as we try to make a real impact in the Champions League next season. The emotional connection between Trippier and the Newcastle fans is something truly special to witness. When supporters are writing messages like "Thank you for everything you have done for our club," and "You are a legend," they're not just being dramatic. They're recognizing a player who has given everything to the cause and helped transform this club from relegation candidates to Champions League qualifiers. If Newcastle is serious about competing at the highest level next season, keeping Kieran Trippier should be an absolute priority. His contract situation gives the club some leverage, but more importantly, his love for this club and these fans should be the deciding factor. The man has experienced the most successful period in Newcastle's modern history, and walking away now would be like leaving a story unfinished. Well, that's all from St. James's Park for today, lads and lasses. What a time to be a Newcastle United supporter. Champions League football secured, transfer funds available, and the best team in the world ready to take on Europe's elite. Keep backing the lads. Keep believing in this incredible journey we're all on together, and I'll be back with more updates from the most exciting club in world football. Away the lads!